Today, Kingdom Hearts finally gets weird and/or fractional numbers out of its system with a new concept, 3. This is CheckPoint. Welcome to CheckPoint, where, just like that fan-subbed Ace Attorney video, we're back.
Wait, what?
The video that Capcom took down. It's back.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Right, we did that story when you were Beej. That was a weird day.
No kidding.
PlayerUnknown's Capslock Death Island can be played in first person, but players generally stick to the default third-person view as it affords notable strategic advantages. With a third-person camera floating behind your avatar, you're able to get vision around corners without making your avatar vulnerable to fire. But for players who want more intense gameplay, PlayerUnknown himself confirmed on Twitter that optional first-person only servers are coming to the game. Theoretically, this change will make camping more difficult and make the moment-to-moment gameplay more intense, as you won't have as much information to work with. Regardless, you'll still get roasted in 3 seconds after spending 15 minutes collecting the best loot you've ever seen.
Nintendo has announced they are ending production of the new 3DS. They did this by changing one text box on their Japanese site and not telling anyone until someone at Kotaku UK noticed and then wrote a story about it. But wait, you say, back in January, Reggie told Wired that the 3DS was fine. And to quote that interview, "The 3DS has a long life in front of it. We've already announced games that will be launching in the first couple quarters of this year. There are a number of big games coming, and in our view, the Nintendo 3DS and the Nintendo Switch are going to live side by side. They're going to coexist just fine." And yes, the new 3DS XL and the 2DS are still in production, but given how quietly this happened and how quickly this happened after the launch of Nintendo's biggest hit since the Wii, I wouldn't start any big projects that were exclusive to any console with a DS in the name if I were you.
Dutch football club, or soccer club if you prefer, PSV made a big deal of signing 22-year-old FIFA player Tony Koch to their esports team last week, even producing an epic trailer announcing the acquisition, only to, rather embarrassingly, cancel his contract 2 days later once they discovered that Tony had made some number of derogatory, sexist tweets towards women in the past, and even used a homophobic pejorative to describe fans of the football club that signed him. PSV says they conducted a background check but didn't find this information until it was brought to their attention. Koch's management says that the recovery of these tweets, that Koch had since deleted, was part of a smear campaign, but did concede that ultimately he is responsible for his actions, as yet another step in the direction of realizing that only on the internet is still real life.
Splatoon 2 isn't even out yet, but it's already got its own strategy for dealing with rage quitters. At this weekend's Splatfest, players got a chance to play the game early, and possibly more importantly, to decide which was better, cake or the heavenly frozen nectar of the gods ice cream. But what if, while you were defending the honor of ice cream against those dry, crumbly, cake-loving heathens, you just happened to disconnect from your game, which was not at all because you were sucking ass and about to lose, but because your internet connection had a sudden crisis of faith? Well, Splatoon 2 would send you the following message. Your previous online play session didn't end naturally, which is pretty suspicious. If this keeps happening, we're going to have to block you from playing online for a while. Make sure your internet isn't busted and try again. Which seems pretty polite by normal metrics, but by Nintendo standards, it's almost the equivalent of Dad asking for his whoopin' belt. So don't disappoint Pearl and Marina by playing like a jerk, or they might have to dole out the harshest punishment ever in the history of Nintendo. Which is probably just them looking at you and saying that they're sad and that they're disappointed.
At the Disney Fan Club's D23 Expo this past weekend, Square released a new trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3, which boldly claimed a release window of 2018. And don't stand there and lie to us. At this point, you shouldn't even announce the release for the game, and just whenever it's ready, just go, hey, you can buy it now. The most exciting part of the new trailer was the introduction of a Toy Story world to the Kingdom Hearts pantheon, with Sora, Donald, and Goofy meeting Buzz and Woody in Andy's bedroom before fighting a bunch of Heartless or whatever in the driveway. I guess this kind of crossover should feel weird, but after previous Kingdom Hearts games had Nightmare Before Christmas and fucking Tron worlds, nothing in Kingdom Hearts confuses me anymore. It just washes over me like a nostalgia-fueled fever dream.
Speaking of fever dream, what else happened when I was Beej?
Not much. There was a long discussion on anime credit sequences.
Why? Did you become Ian again?
No? When did I become Ian the first time?
Don't worry about it.
Viewers, if we start next week's episode and we are Beej and Ian, run.
Coming up, Final Fight's Abigail is the newest character coming to Street Fighter V, and he is a real big boy, even when measured against the rest of the muscle-bound Street Fighter roster. I'm not up on his backstory, but it's probably safe to say that no one makes fun of him for being named Abigail.
He's like 8.5 feet tall.
I looked at the official Street Fighter wiki. He's 8 feet tall and weighs 700 pounds.
Yeah, but the thing is...
He's also Canadian!
Which is cool.
Yeah, unless that guy he's fighting is like 4'5", he's more than 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
Well,
the Street Fighter V style is huge.